Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the early slate. We're going to start off with the early slate, cover it for Wednesday, August 7th. We got 8 games. I believe there's like a 4 or 5 game night slate. I will be covering that as well, that slate as well in another video, a separate video. We'll look at DraftKings and Yahoo for that one. But for now, we're just going to cover the 8 game early on DraftKings. Start off with pitching. We'll work our way through the pitcher player pool. I'll be sure to hit on all the pitchers that I like for today. Then we'll look at 3 specific hitters I really like. We'll talk about some stacks that I like, and then towards the end of the video, we'll look at some BVP plays as well. Before we do get started, guys, I would appreciate it if you would drop a like on the video. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button down below so that way you don't miss out on any of my new videos. Starting off at the top, looking at Garrett Cole, he's our most expensive option on this early slate. $11,900 in a matchup at home against the Rockies. Next most expensive guy is Mike Clevinger in a matchup at home against the Rangers. And then you have Lance Lynn also above $10K. He's $10,200 in a matchup with the Indians. So I think looking at these top 3 guys over $10K, Cole and Clevinger are definitely the 2 that really stand out. And I think Garrett Cole is just heading above the number 1 guy for me on this early slate. He's just such a good strikeout pitcher. The matchup's pretty good as well, getting the Rockies outside of Coors Field. Right now, we do have a run total in this game, and the Rockies have an incredibly low run total, just at 2.9 implied run total, which is the lowest on the slate. Cole is a heavy favorite at minus 339. Really good spot for Garrett Cole. I think he just gives you so much upside. Even at this price tag, he can definitely give you 30, 35, close to 40 DraftKings points. We know how much strikeout upside Garrett Cole possesses. So I like paying up for him as my SP1. I do like Clevinger, and I like his matchup with the Rangers. But he's just closely priced enough to Garrett Cole to where Garrett Cole's just going to be the guy that I look to roster. I don't see myself playing a ton of Clevinger today. I'll probably have a little bit of him. If it's a 1v1, I'm definitely choosing Cole over Clevinger. If Clevinger was a little bit cheaper, like if he was like Lance Lynn's price, then I would definitely have a lot more interest in him. But at 11-1, where Cole's 11-9, just give me Garrett Cole. But then once you get past the top 3 guys, it really thins out. There's not much to like. Like Jack Flaherty's a good pitcher, but he's in a tough matchup with the Dodgers. Brendan McKay's definitely in a favorable spot, facing the Blue Jays at home at 8,500. He's maybe a guy you could look to. Dustin May at home against the Cardinals is someone you could possibly look to as an SP2 at 7,500. Even a guy like Joe Ross at 6,800 against the Giants is someone you could possibly consider. But I really like going cheap at SP2 for today. I do like Tyler Alexander, only 5,900 on DraftKings. He's definitely going to be a guy that I look to as a cheap SP2. Getting a matchup at home against the White Sox, very favorable. The White Sox right now do have a somewhat high total at 4.9 implied runs, but that's not really going to shy me away from Alexander. I just think he's a really good option here. He's dirt cheap. He doesn't give you a ton of upside. He doesn't have a ton of strikeout upside. He's made 4 starts this year. He has already started once against the White Sox. That was his major league debut. He went 5 innings, allowed 5 hits, 2 runs, got 4 strikeouts, had 12 DraftKings points when he faced the White Sox earlier this year. He's pitched against the Blue Jays, had 13 DK points. Against Seattle, he had 13 DK points. And then he had to pitch in Texas and had 6 DK points. Alexander is sort of a mediocre pitcher. This is a very favorable matchup, though. The White Sox strike out a lot. They don't have a really good lineup. Alexander is at home as well, which is pretty nice for him. So I do like going to Alexander as a cheap option. I feel like we're going to really want to try and spin for our SP1 and either get Cole or Clevinger. And then for SP2, I think you just kind of mix and match some guys, whether it's Alexander for cheap, whether you want to go to a guy like Joe Ross or maybe Dustin May. Just be mixing in a bunch of different guys at SP2. But for SP1, I'm mainly just going to be sticking to Cole and Clevinger. For bats, I think there's multiple ways you can go. We'll go ahead and move over to bats. If you want to target some Indians versus Lance Lynn, I don't think that's the worst idea. Lance Lynn can definitely be attacked with lefties. He's been much better against righties than lefties just throughout his career. Pretty low total for the Indians, just a 4.6 implied run total, so they're probably not going to get much ownership. But they are pretty cheap. Like Puig's only 4K, Jose Ramirez is only 4,100. Only hitter that's expensive is Lindor at 5K. Pretty good chance you could get in Cole, Alexander, and then still fit in an Indian stack. So the Indians are a team you could potentially look to. But I do want to talk about the Tigers. The Tigers are a team that I mentioned on Tuesday's slate, and I did play a decent amount of them. I'm going to be going right back to them on the early slate, getting to face of Vaughn Nova. I think he's a very favorable matchup for the Tigers. And if you just look at their hitters, they are all dirt cheap. Only 2 hitters over 4K in the lineup. Goodrum and Dixon are 42 and 4,300. And then everyone else is under 4K. So you get a lot of value out of this Tigers lineup. I really like Jacoby Jones. He's one guy that really stands out at only 3,700 on DraftKings. Should be leading off. This is a guy that does have some power, has some speed as well. Nova's just not a good pitcher. He'll give up home runs to both sides of the plate. Not sure how he is at holding runners, but Jacoby Jones has some speed, so if he gets on base, there's a chance he's going to be a threat to run. So he's a guy that I really like. A couple more guys you could look to from Detroit that do have some PvP. Miguel Cabrera's gone 7 for 23 with the home run off of Nova. Gordon Beckham 5 for 13 off of Nova. But I really like Jacoby Jones leading off at only 3,700. Right now, nearly a 5 total for the Tigers, something usually we don't see. They are definitely going to be a team I look to for value. They just give you so much value. So I like Jacoby Jones a lot. Also really like Nico Goodrum. He's shortstop and outfield eligible on DraftKings. Definitely would have much more appeal at the shortstop position because that position is just not as good or just not as deep. Goodrum, though, is another guy that has some power and some speed. 12 stolen bases on the year, 10 home runs. Does have power from the left side. He is much better batting left-handed than right-handed. And since Nova is a right-handed pitcher, Nico Goodrum will be batting left-handed in this matchup. So I like him a lot at 4,200. Definitely going to be stacking the Tigers. Jones, Goodrum I really like. Miguel Cabrera is a cheap first baseman you can target. Harold Castro is a cheap second baseman you could look to. Candelario's in the lineup. I know he's dirt cheap at third base. If Jake Rogers catches, he's a cheap catcher as well. You might be able to do like a Clevenger and Cole lineup and stack the Tigers with how cheap they are. That's probably something I'm going to look to do in one of my lineups. But the 2 guys I really like from the Tigers are Goodrum and Jacoby Jones. And then another team I think you can definitely target are some Braves bats versus Martin Perez. Martin Perez is not a terrible pitcher, but he's not really like a pitcher I'd be afraid to take hitters against, especially a really good lineup like the Braves. We'll pull up Martin Perez's game log real quick, just look at his past few starts. Against KC, 5 innings, 7 hits allowed, 5 runs allowed, gave up 3 home runs. Against the White Sox, a little bit better, 6 innings, 7 hits allowed, 3 runs, 1 home run. Against the Yankees, only 4 innings, 7 hits allowed, 5 runs allowed, 3 home runs. Perez is definitely a guy that will give up home runs to right-handed hitters. So Acuna, Albies, Donaldson, Duvall, Flowers. I really like these Braves bats. Johan Camargo's dirt cheap. Austin Riley, 4,300 is an outfielder you could target. Freddie Freeman, even though it's lefty-lefty, I still think Freddie Freeman's a really good play at 5,300, especially because he's going to be really, really low owned in the lefty-lefty matchup. But the one guy that really stands out to me from the Braves is Ozzie Albies, batting second for only 4,600. Ozzie Albies will be batting right-handed since he will be facing a left-handed pitcher. And Albies is better from his right side than his left side. Does have power from his right side. Also a guy that has speed as well. 10 stolen bases on the year, so if Albies gets on, he will steal if he has the opportunity to. But does give you a lot of power. 15 home runs on the year, just overall a really good hitter. I'm definitely going to be looking to some Braves bats today. I really like their prices. They are a pretty easy team to stack because you have like an outfielder, second base, first base, third base. Then you got another outfielder, very cheap catcher in Tyler Flowers. Tyler Flowers definitely one of my favorite catchers on this slate. Johan Camargo is a cheap shortstop, 3,100 for Camargo. I really like Camargo does have some power batting right-handed. So do like the Braves bats to go along with some Detroit bats as well. Those are definitely 2 teams I'm going to be looking to stack up on this early slate. But I think that's it for my 3 specific hitters. Going over stacks real quick. Obviously, I really like the Braves and I really like the Tigers. Those are 2 teams I'm going to be looking to. I did mention the Indians. I don't really have much interest in Lance Lynn today, so some Indians bats, even though their total's not incredibly high, you could definitely look to them versus Lynn because they are pretty reasonably priced. Besides Lindor, everyone's relatively cheap in this lineup. But any other stacks that stand out, the Astros versus Peter Lambert, if you can find a way to fit them in, you could definitely go there. Right now, the Astros do have the highest implied run total on the slate at 5.7 runs. Peter Lambert's just been really bad this year. In cores, outside of cores, he's been a pitcher you can definitely target. So I do like the Astros. It's just going to be tough to fit them in with Garrett Cole. And Garrett Cole is definitely going to be like a top priority for me. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it for stacks. Maybe some Cubs bats versus Homer Bailey. The Cubs will probably be a team I'm not as high on just because they're not at the top of my list today. Top of my list definitely going to be the Braves and the Tigers, just given their value. So I think that's it for stacks. Now looking at BVP real quick before you end the video. Josh Donaldson has some BVP off of Perez, 6 for 18 with a home run. Did mention the two Tigers that have BVP off of Nova. Miguel Cabrera, 7 for 23 with the home run, and Gordon Beckham, 5 for 13. Delano DeShields gone 2 for 10, but does have a home run off of Clevenger. Nolan Arenado, 8 for 17 with 2 home runs off Garrett Cole. And then lastly, 2 more plays from the Cubs that have hit Homer Bailey well. Anthony Rizzo's gone 11 for 28 with 2 home runs off of Bailey. And Jason Hayward's gone 7 for 21 with a home run off Homer Bailey. So that's it for BVP for this early slate, guys. I think that is it for this video. Like I said at the beginning, I will be making a video for the main slate as well. That video will go up after this one. So once you get done watching this, definitely check out my video for the main slate if you're planning to play that. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you drop a like down below if you enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already. If you do have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. Or like always, you can hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. If you do have any questions, feel free to message me on Twitter. That's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and good luck on this early slate. Peace.